All right, so back here on the 1978 Toyota pickup, I got the bed back on there and just clearance for the rear end. So it's close for sure on this brace back here. And I just got little like 3/4 inch spacers that are keeping the rear end from jamming into the frame. So I think that's going to be pretty good because actually the shocks need to stop sooner than that. So even though there's only like, you know, maybe 3/8 or so of space in there, should be good. I had to cut a big old rectangle out. Fortunately, the mounts for the panhard bar are clearance just fine, and you know, got that bolt and everything. But yeah, I mean, I think that that's gonna work out good. It's not quite level, so I do need to raise it. I just sit in bare metal, and so it's not, there's no there's no rubber in between the frame and the bed right now, so it does need to get raised up a little bit. Same thing down here, like body line's not quite right, so it does need to move a bit. And then there is a brace that's in this corner that I took out in order to repair the corner over here. And so that's not even on it. And so there does need to be a bit of shifting. But yeah, from like a stance perspective, like, you know, now that it's lowered as far as it'll possibly go, like that's cool. And since I couldn't help myself, I had to stuff the wheel and tire under there. Man, that's gonna look badass. Like that looks so good. Like over there, stuffed on the ground. That's gonna look so dope. So real excited about that. And then as far as like my axle alignment, I think I did a pretty good job there. You know, just sort of eyeballed where the wheels got to be, and it's perfectly in alignment with the axle. I got, you know, about an inch fore and aft that I can fiddle around with them bars in order to get it perfectly dialed in. And so like I shouldn't have any problem. It's so close right now that like, you know, it maybe can go back slightly because the gap on the back is maybe a little bit bigger than the front. But like I said, as far as adjustments, I got plenty of room in there, so that should be totally fine. But like, yeah, this is looking super dope. Very excited about that. So yeah, the next thing here, I might clearance it just a little bit more. Because if I do have to shift the rear end around a little bit, you can see where I got that there to the bolt. You know, that's just 1/2 inch. You know, that ain't much. And so I might clearance this out just a little bit more than it is currently. I did have to get into this brace a little bit. And so there was like a flat piece here that came out, and that's what, and then it was spot welding to the bed, so I did have to get into that a little bit, which is a bummer. So now I'll have to tack that flat piece to a couple of spots to the bed in order to get structure. I didn't have to get into any brace on this side. The brace is actually like way back here, and so that should be fine. That I don't have any issues. And then I didn't have to get into the end here. I mean, there's another brace about right there, and I didn't have to get into that, which is good. So you know, I don't really want to get into that brace any bit. But if that rear end had to shift backwards, I don't know. I mean, it's stuffed right now. Like it actually wouldn't ever ride this low. You know, actual ride height, if I jack this up a little bit, you know, actual ride height's more like this. And, you know, here there's like a boatload of room, so that's not a big deal. So, you know, this bolt right here, that's for the panhard bar. You know, that one I might, like I said, this edge here, I might want to clearance just a little bit more in order to make sure that I don't have any issues. And that if I ever need to adjust anything, that I don't have to like take the bed off to do an adjustment, that I got enough room to get in there in order to get after those bolts in order to move the panhard bar around a little bit. So I might, you know, want to clearance that part a little bit more. And since I already cut that brace, I don't really want to cut that other piece of structure out of it. That vertical piece there is really what provides the majority of the structure in that brace. And so if I did cut any of it out, I'd have to, you know, rework something in order to add some structure back in, because I don't really want to do that. So, and then as far as filling that in, I mean, I got the piece that I have. I don't know if I'll just box it or if I'll try to arc something over or hide another Easter egg in that thing. I'm not sure quite yet, but yeah, this is looking pretty good. I was happy to get the bed back on and kind of get an idea of where we're headed. So, all right, I'll figure out the next piece. Thanks, see you in the next one.